Well, welcome back to Falun and welcome to the very last race of the cross-country World Cup season. And what a finale it should be. Slightly different course from yesterday, although they're still racing over 15 kilometres. It's in the freestyle, of course, just as we've seen in the women's. And this is all about the overall World Cup, the final World Cup mini tour. Petter Northug is the man who's in the hot seat, isn't he, Mike?
He really is in the driving seat. Although Viljanin 30 seconds behind, he can't back off at all, Northug, and he certainly won't want to let Viljanin have any hope of pulling back his 30 seconds.
Well, 200 World Cup points on offer today. Northug currently 80 points clear at the top of the standings. If he finishes in the top three, he will take the win, whatever happens. But with Legkov and Colonia starting over a minute behind, it looks very, very likely that that is the way it's going to turn out, with Northug getting the title for only the second time.
Surprising, a man with the surname Northug. I thought he'd probably won it 4 times, but he has missed. Remember last year he went to do the marathon races, it didn't really work out.
30 seconds ahead of Maxim Viljanin before the last stage of World Cup final. Do you feel it's over yet?
Yeah, I don't care about Viljanin, I care about Dario and Legkov, so that's the only thing I'm thinking about. It's the World Cup overall. I don't care if I don't win the mini tour. I have done that before, but the World Cup title would be great to have, so I'm trying. I will hurt the seconds for Dario and Legkov, and that's my focus.
Both Legkov and Colonia are quite far back behind, so I think you can have the competition pretty under control.
Yeah, I hope so, but it's still a competition and everything can happen, so just try to be focused and go in my own speed and find the right flow there. That's my goal.
Well, anything can happen, but if you listen to his interview yesterday, he didn't tell us what he was actually thinking. He tried to lead us down the wrong path by saying he was going to go for all the bonus seconds. He did nothing of the sort.
And what do you think there? Do you really think that he doesn't care about Viljanin, who's only 30 seconds behind? You know, he's a racer. Does he really not care about winning this one, or at least crossing the line first?
I absolutely believe him when he says his priority is to win the overall World Cup, because he stated that a long time ago, and he's manufactured his season to make sure that he's in a position to challenge for it today, which he certainly is. It's a great position. He has won this mini tour, as he said. He won it in 2010, he won it in 2011, and this is the 5th tour, and only 2 men have lifted the title. Of course, Dario Colonia and Petter Northug. I think Colonia might perhaps too far behind to be a real challenge. What's he on? He's 87 points adrift of Petter Northug, so Colonia has got to win today, and he's got to hope that Northug finishes down in 4th or 5th.
It's a tough task, isn't it? And the way we saw Colonia yesterday, he started strong, he was there, he was at the races, but as usual, well, not as usual, just this last 3 or 4 races this season, he's faded in the second or the last quarter of the race.
Yeah, and it's been a long season. It's run longer. The biathletes have already gone to Bali. I guess the Nordic combiners have gone to Nicosia. The alpine skiers will be somewhere pleasant as well. And the ski jumpers are probably still in the bar, having finished their season just a little bit earlier on today. The cross-country skiers lasting longer than everyone else. It's been a fantastic season as well. Started on the 24th of November in Gällivare. And, well, ever since then, we've not really known who is going to win. Now, if I tell you, Mike, what have we've had something like 30 races in all, 29, 30 races. How many different winners?
Probably only about 9.
Well, 15 different winners, which might explain why Northug, at the top of the World Cup standings, only has 136,000 Swiss francs to his name, whereas Justina Kowalczyk just short of 300,000, having won 11 races. So the spoils have been shared in the Men's World Cup, and that's got to be a good thing.
I think that is a good thing, but when you look at Colonia last year, he had 340,000 Swiss francs because he was winning the mini tours, and it really does make a difference.
Well, here's the course. 4 times round, 3.6. Yesterday, remember, it was 5 times round, just over 3.3. So a slightly tougher course. They go up a little bit higher. And then the extra section, actually, Mike, is generally flat. So they delay the descent back down to the bottom of Murder Hill.
And unlike all the races at the World Championships in Val di Fiemme, this is just, you ski up the hill for 2.5 Ks, and then it's an easy recovery back to the stadium. Is he growling? Flames coming out of his mouth.
If you've ever seen a bull in a stadium before a fight, I think he's having a good paw of the ground. And Petter Northug, he is competitive, as you say. He may well let Viljanin catch him, but I think he might use the Russian to take him around the rest of the course. Might be a good idea, just to ease it up. But 30 seconds is a long time. Northug's covered a couple of 100 metres in that time, so he can afford to take the first couple of laps pretty easy.
And as we saw in the women's race, it is so difficult to claw time back in this course profile. It's not this undulating quick recoveries, it's just long graft up to the high point, technical downhills. It's an easier course to hold on to your time, I think, rather than this relentless up and down terrain at this time of year for the stronger athletes.
Alex Harvey starting 32. It's not been a brilliant season for Alex, who was right up in the top 6 of the World Cup standings last year. There's Thomas Northug, who was in a good position until yesterday. He tried to do a bit of work and win some bonus seconds yesterday to deny Legkov and Colonia. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Everyone wanting to know whether he's going to be anything like as good as his brother. That's pretty rare, isn't it, to get two exceptional athletes out of the same family?
It is, and of course Thomas Northug started, what, 7th, bib 7 yesterday, and he lost so much time. He lost over 3.5 minutes on the world's best at this moment. That's quite a margin.
There's Dario Colonia wearing bib number 8. He starts 1:20 behind. He's only got 4 seconds to make up on Dietmar Nuckler of Italy to move into 7th. He's got 26 seconds to catch on Kruch, and he's got that full 1:20 to catch on Petter Northug. And he looks as though he means business. It's been a really hard season for Petter Northug. How would you rate it compared to other seasons?
I think that when we've seen in the past Petter Northug at major championships, this time it didn't quite go all his own way, so a little down in that sense, but the rest of his racing has been so good. 4th place again though in the Tour de Ski. But he doesn't like that.
Yeah, but he doesn't find it as easy to win the mass starts as he used to. The others, and particularly the Russians, have learned how to deal with him.
And even Colonia at the World Championships, he realised he had to take a huge punishment to break Northug within that 15 and the double pursuit, the skiathlon, to break him early.
Well, we wrote Emil Jonsson off at the early stages of yesterday's race. He still did very well, and he starts in 5th position today, looking for his best ever final tour finish. Petter Northug, 2 wins already. Can he make it 3 and become the only man to have won this title on 3 occasions? As he says, he's not too fussed about the mini tour. He is very concerned about the overall World Cup. So Northug on the left of your screen will be the first to start. Viljanin has to wait 30 seconds, and then Eldar Roning goes at 40, Sundby 44, Jonsson 50, and Finn Hagen Scott, the 4th Norwegian to get underway, starts 54 seconds behind this man, and that is not the traditional 110% start from Petter Northug.
He certainly pushed in a few little quick flicks and body movements, definitely not opening up into maximum yet. And Viljanin, as always, like Legkov, he just doesn't know how to race slowly, so he'll be attacking from the word go.
Viljanin has 2 men behind him that he needs to be concerned about. I think Roning is going to struggle. Roning's a brilliant classic skier, as we saw yesterday. The winner of the Oslo 50 kilometre, the Holmenkollen 50 as it's known, last season. And Roning, of course, getting the win yesterday. Sundby, on the other hand, he's good technically at both classic and skating. Jonsson goes for Sweden, number 5. There goes Kroch of Norway again, a man who's certainly improved this season. 15th in the World Cup standings at the moment, and a top 3 result from him would certainly boost him up into the top 12.
His technique viewed as one of the best in the Norwegian team, which is one of the best in the world.
Number 7, Dietmar Nuckler, the best of the Italians in the rankings at the moment. Away goes Dario Cologna, who it looks now as though he's lost his defence of the overall World Cup title. I know a number of those sending in emails very disappointed that Cologna hasn't claimed the title again. Mike, I know you're a Cologna man and I'm a Northug man. Where do you think it's gone wrong for Cologna this year?
Really, I think it was the 50. Well, last weekend on Saturday, he lost so many points there in the 50-kilometre, and then I think that broke his spirit. He didn't come back into the sprints in Stockholm very strong at all by his own high standards. We'd normally expect him getting through to the top 12 or even the top 6. So it's just at the end of the season he's run out of energy.
Yeah, of course he puts in a massive effort in the Tour de Ski, which he won again for the 3rd time this year, and then I guess worked hard at the World Championships to try and put some wrongs right, and then just faded after that. He certainly wasn't 100% healthy, and going into the Holman Column 50 with a bug is not a good idea.
It's not, and of course, just lastly on Cologna, of course he came into the season with his knee injury, so he wasn't quite on top form early on.
Number 20 is Sjörutte of Norway, starting just ahead of Roland Clara, 21. Toby Anger on the far side in the red hat and the German suit goes number 22. 2 minutes 38 off the pace of the leaders. Besmedik, Halverson, Jespersen and Lukas Bauer are starting now. Lukas Bauer for the Czech Republic, 2:52 behind. Bauer's never finished in the top 3 of the mini tour, which I'm slightly surprised at. But, of course, when he was in his prime, the mini tour at the end of the season didn't exist.
I think it's a good, newish addition to the World Cup. But it does restrict when you're not allowed all of the best here. You're just allowed the top 50-odd.
Good chance to have a look at the technique of Petter Northug. That left arm, Mike, his leading arm, actually behind his head in terms of level with the body. A lot of people would reach a little bit further forward.
It's interesting, and I think he does that to prevent taking weight off his skis, if you like. So all the weight is sliding him forward on that initial plant of the ski pole. And I love this. This is where he leads on his left side deeper than most athletes, and the way he throws his right arm back, it allows a little bit like Therese Johaug to get that right knee, that right leg underneath him.
But you don't think he drops deeper? If you look at the left knee when he plants it on the ground, it definitely has a little deviation to the inside. He gets a little bit knock-kneed, which is certainly not textbook stuff, and maybe that's why he drops a little lower than those who can keep the knee straight over the ski.
If that's one weakness, I agree. His knees are slightly in as opposed to some of the other Norwegians. Well, and Cologna especially, very, very solid on the skis, Cologna.
Yeah, Villigjan in nice and solid position as well, the knee over the gap. Let's have a look at the timing, 32 seconds now, and it was 30 at the start, so Northug has not started slowly, as some thought he might do. Sundby started 44 behind. He's made up some good ground and will be starting to challenge the Russian very shortly, and Eldar Roning staying strong in the early stages. From 40 seconds, he's 37.9, so that's a very fast start from him. And Jönsson from 50 to 46. Here comes Dario Cologna, 1:20 behind at the start of the day, 1:06 on the clock at the moment. He's still got some 25 metres to go, and it doesn't look as though Dario Cologna's made too much of an impression, and he's got to be very wary, of course, of Legkov, who is in that group behind. 1:22.5, so the fastest starter amongst the main challengers is Petter Northug. Sundby and Roning, the two Norwegians in 3rd and 4th, have started well, and Legkov has kept the same margin between himself and Northug at 1:47 in the early stages. Northug's still out on his own here in Falun, and we've had great opportunity to just watch the great man on his way round the tracks, assessing his technique and maybe guessing at what's going through his mind. He'll be enjoying this, won't he, Mike? He loves skiing in front of big crowds. We've seen his best performances. I think probably his best performance ever, the 50-kilometre at the World Championships in 2011.
He loved that 123,000 spectators around the track. He was tactical that day, and he has been for most of his career. He's been a hunter rather than taking it on. But we saw a new Northug this year. He can win the time trials, the 15-kilometre up in Lahti.
Yeah, and he's producing a very quick time.